Welcome to the Higher Ed Demand Gen podcast, helping higher education marketing leaders share knowledge about learning, strategies, and tactics that are relevant today. See what you can learn today by listening to one of our episodes.
Welcome to the Higher Ed Demand Gen podcast hosted by Concept 3D. On this podcast, we like to discuss topics around creating and capturing demand in higher education. A little bit about our sponsor, Concept 3D. Concept 3D helps bring your campus to life virtually. We have served the higher education community for over a decade with our award-winning interactive maps and virtual tours. Improve your campus communications, student engagement, and recruitment with their powerful location-based virtual solutions. My name's Shiro, and I will be your host today. I'm currently speaking from my home in Silverthorne, Colorado, and today I'm super excited to have Jarreth Martina join us. Jarreth is a higher education leader with a plethora of experience, specifically in international student recruitment. He's currently the Assistant Director of International Recruitment and Admissions at St. Cloud State University. Jarreth, thanks for joining us today.
Thank you so much for your time, Shiro. I really appreciate it. I'm so glad to be here to share a little bit about my knowledge and also experience for folks who are listening. So thank you, Shiro.
Thank you, Jarreth. Just a quick question, where are you joining us today? And do you want to start us off with one fun fact as well?
Yeah, for sure. So hi, everyone. Again, my name is Jarreth Joshua Martina. I'm basically Assistant Director here at International Recruitment and Admissions at St. Cloud State University. So I'm basically located in St. Cloud, Minnesota. So, and then I would say a fun fact about me, I speak 5 languages, so so I can communicate with different parts of the world. Specifically, I can say I can speak Portuguese, Spanish, Dutch, English, and Chinese. So yeah, so fun fact about me. So yeah,
that's amazing. That's probably 4 more than most. That's great.
Yeah,
I know in our previous call we talked a little bit about your background and how you were actually an international student yourself. I'd love for you to start us off with a little bit of information there, because I think it's an amazing story and how you've gotten to where you are today.
Yeah, for sure. Thank you, Shiro. Yes, so like Shiro said, I'm a former international student too from the Caribbean, specifically from a very small island called Curacao, which is locating right, let's say, on the right by Venezuela, on the shores of Venezuela. We are very close to Venezuela. We are known by the ABC Islands, if you guys are not familiar with us. So 8 years ago, yeah, I came to the United States in 2014, specifically to study specifically. And then it was a great experience. I never actually dreamed to come to the United States. It was actually, I utilized this as my sport. So I did track and field back in Curacao, and I traveled a lot, with my team. Went to Jamaica, went to Trinidad and Tobago. So I started liking traveling. And then I would say the best way to do it, it was basically to study abroad. And then I had a cousin who went to I believe Oklahoma, a community college in Oklahoma. And from there, I'll say, hey, there's opportunity. If you're good at your sports, there's plenty of opportunities of studying in America. There's great ways. And then I decided to start looking for schools, because then even know that coaches can look at you, that you can build a website on specifically NCAA, that they can look at your marks and things like that. So I started looking at school for myself and what really is studying abroad. And in 2014, I found a school in Kansas. So I went to a community college called Cloud County Community College in Concordia, Kansas. Which there I ran track and field for 2 years, and I studied general business over there. So from 2014 to 2016, I was there. And then in 2016, I got my associate degree there in general business. And then I got a scholarship to go to a Northern State University in South Dakota. So in South Dakota, that's where I basically got to know more of the culture. I got more out of myself, because those 2 years were, I feel like it was just an introduction to America, and I was still learning a little bit. So my junior year in college, that's where mostly I got exposed to activities and things to do. I got a job on campus. And then in that year too, actually, I went to study abroad in China, which I was very fascinated by the culture and the language. So that's why actually when I came to the States, start learning a little bit about the Chinese language and also taking some classes, which basically that's why I can speak the language a little bit. And then after coming from China, I actually started working more with international students because I always was passionate about other cultures, how they work, how other people live in other parts of the world. So that's why I left my tiny island to learn all of that. So working international missions, you get exposure to all parts of the world, the culture and the students. So I got a passion in it. And then my international advisor back then, Stacy Smith, she really pushed me into the industry. I started working with NAFSA, if you guys are familiar with it. So NAFSA, I was a presenter my first year there with my international advisor. We presenting about culture shock and reverse culture shock, which is a really great presentation about students who come to the States and actually when students leave or when go back home and after studying in America, all things that they go through for that. So that was a really great topic. And then that year too, I became the student of the region at the NAFSA conference, which all my involvement in helping students on campus. And then through that, that was in 2018. So in 2019, I went back to NAFSA and did a presentation myself, me and a friend that worked in international admissions, that we did a presentation about teaching faculties how to engage international students in classroom too, which is a great presentation that we did in Fargo. And the one in 2018 was actually in Minnesota in Duluth, which was a great place. And the one in 2018 was in Fargo, which was a really great. And then when I graduated in 2018 from Northern State, I got my degree in international business, and then I did a master in I would say educational studies. And then I became a graduate assistant at Northern State, studying educational studies. And then that's where I got more involved and get more experience into how actually the higher education industry works, with admissions, with recruitment and all that. And then I, based on that, I was doing also different research on American Indian studies, which I took a class, I visit different I was in villages and cities of where because when you're in South Dakota, there's a lot of Native Americans, so you get a lot of exposure. So I was curious about that after taking the class. So I had did some research on that too. And then I graduated in 2020 with my master's in educational studies and started as an admission counselor at St. Cloud State University, and now just started in this position in April. I started as Assistant Director of International Recruitment and Admissions. So that's just a little bit about my journey to here that I am right now. So, yeah.
That's really impressive. What I'm really hearing is like your own background has really led you into this position around international student recruitment and your own curiosity towards being, I think the word I've heard a lot is global citizen. Your own curiosity towards becoming a global student and citizen. Yeah. That's really amazing.
Yeah, it's really important to me. So, yeah.
And, using yourself as an example, like, as an international student, you've set yourself up for success, right?
Yes, you do. Yes, you do.
And how do you work with students now and international students specifically and try to set them up for success?
The conversation starts since you recruit the students. When you are talking to the students, you have to know their needs, what you want to study. And even sometimes high school students don't know specifically what they want to become. And basically you tell them, you talk about a little bit about the future, what really in the world is going through us now. We are seeing a lot of technology, engineering, that area. And also, past COVID, a lot of students are looking more into the healthcare industry, what they have experienced. So these stories really count, just having a conversation with the students and really what they want to do, what they really like specifically. And then what we actually do here at St. Cloud, we have a really great career center that our students can actually meet with our counselors there and guide them in the right way so they can conduct some assessments and to see what really skills they have. And based on that, students make their decision. Or even when they come here, they will just start with the generals and join different clubs. That's where I got exposed and got more skills, because you really get to know yourself better, because you never know. You think you go into the nursing, but if you join, I would say, a debate club, you never know that you have different ideas about how the economy works and things like that. So joining things that get you out of your comfort zone are really important to me. That's where I tell all my students, that's where you get to know yourself better, and putting yourself in I would say uncomfortable situation. The same thing, that's why I went to study abroad in China, because it's a whole different culture than in the Western side. So putting yourself in that position, you really think different. And you think you can apply critical thinking to it, because it's a different environment. So you have to behave differently. You have to understand the people in order to be successful. It's the same thing when you come to America too. Students who come from Africa, students come from Asia. So it's a different environment, and that's why here we try to encourage them that we have a great community, here at the school from their country, but also try to incorporate different, I would say, events that they can meet the American students, also students from other side of the world, that they can interact and exchange, information. So that's what's very, very useful. That's set up for you to success, because everywhere you go now, no matter which industry, you are it's gonna be like, I will say, like international. Every company right now in the world, whatever you do with the social media and everything that's going on, they work international. So you gotta know people. You gotta know different situations, how to react, and how to behave yourself. So that's why studying abroad, I tell my students, is very important. That investment that you're making in yourself. So yeah.
Do you have these conversations that, you said getting students to come out of their comfort zone? Do you have that conversation early with international students when they're maybe haven't even visited campus yet, or haven't stepped foot in the US yet? Or how early are you having these conversations?
Yeah, so I would say every presentation I do, we talk about this conversation always comes up front when I talk about our clubs and organizations that we have on campus. This is where I tell my students, hey, St. Cloud has over 250 clubs and organizations. You don't have to join only things that you're interested in, but just join things that you have curiosity over. If you can join a debate club, a business club, even if you're a healthcare major, because business is general. Everybody needs to know how to work with numbers. Or you can join. We have like a bass fishing club. We have like a running club. All these things, really, you get exposed to people, and meet new friends too, and exchange information. So that's why I tell my students, studying abroad is not only for you to come and get a degree, but it's just to change your personality and your whole character itself, and how you see the world. So that's why I tell the students, it's very, very important when you come study abroad, to immerse yourself in other cultures and learn about them too, because that's what's going to make you stand up, or like stand out when you're applying for a job. Those events, that not only the degree you have, but also all these things that you have participated in, got involved, that you got more skills. Let's say if you're a healthcare, you participating in a graphic design club, you got skills about that. You participating in some sport clubs, you have skills about that. So these things really make a difference when you go apply for a job too. So yeah, and you have a good time to make lifetime friends. So
Right. That's amazing. And that is the success aspect you're speaking of, right? You're not looking at just having them be successful
in the
with
classroom, no.
yeah, just not, you're thinking outside of the classroom and setting
Yeah,
themselves up for a job or a career
for a
or a
career, yeah.
position here in the US.
And I think that's why makes studying abroad in the US so different compared to other countries, because
Right.
the campus, even let's say if you live off campus itself, if you join one of these clubs, or you are immersing, different events on campus, you can still get that exposure. And I would say in other countries, it's very rare you see that. Students, there's no like specifically like housing on campus, and there's no like events going on at the university that to keep the students as engaged as possible and get that exposure that they need in order when to come to the United States. So yeah.
Love that. Yeah. Are there, I'm trying to think of the best way to ask this. Is there something that school, you're saying that's to set these students up for success. It's important to have some sort of outlet, club, organization that
Mm,
international students can be a part of,
yeah,
outside of just the classroom.
just
Is
the
there like
classroom.
are there good first steps that you can take when, like, let's say a school is just adopting a new international student recruitment program and
Mhm.
they're really trying to set their students up for success? What are like some of the easy things that they can do to get started?
Well, what we did specifically when we were having COVID was happening in higher education, we had a lot of virtual, meetings, right? That's what we did. And instead of me, talking all the structural, how great is our institution, things that we actually had students itself tell their stories about how they joined this club, or we have the club itself come on the virtual setting and talk to the students about how great I am. Even if I'm joining this club, my class, my schedule is busy, but I be able to manage. And that's how it is too, because if you can manage in college, you can manage in real life, because when you get out of college, the life will get more busier, work, family, and all that. And that's what college teaches you too, how you can manage your roster and day as efficient as possible, but be involved and also get the best out of it. So that's why I think these getting involved into organization really prepare you for life, for your career that you're in the classroom, and also for your socials a part of it too, which is getting involved,
Mhm.
getting more experience in different skills, building more skills as possible before you head out and get a job out there. So yeah.
Gotcha. And I want to take one step back and ask a question. Like, I know you're talking about setting the student up for success after they've been enrolled and are committed. What,
Mhm.
how are you getting students interested in St. Cloud in the first place? Are you working with agents? Are you uh, doing a lot of virtual online recruitment? How's that process been for you?
Yes, that's a great question, Shiro. We do both. We
Mhm.
have different partnerships with agents, specifically, and then we have different partnerships too. We have like 2+2 programs with Asian, I would say, institutions that we have. We have semester STSU, so, students sometimes they just want to come for a semester specifically. We've seen that a lot of European students they just come for a semester, or Japanese students to take on one semester and explore the campus. And if they want to stay, you know, the process is here. The opportunity is here that they can stay. We go through the process and they can become a degree seeking for us. And then also St. Cloud has, even if a student is thinking, hey, my English is not so good, I'm kind of afraid to come to the States. We have an ISC center that our students can actually take different English level classes, and then once they have achieved the highest level that they can go, they can start basically being a degree seeking towards the degree, or even before they're in the program. So there's so many possibilities here for students to come and be successful. Even there's language barrier or culture barrier. So there's so many ways St. Cloud put that you can become successful, and also there's support. I would say services all over campus, like tutor centers, English writing center. We have a math skill center. So there's different supports all over campus that these students, even let's say if they're struggling, have this help on campus that our faculty and staff will be available to help them anytime. So yeah.
Got it. Amazing. Thank you so much for having, it's so great to have you on today. Thank you so much for all your insight and knowledge. I was wondering where our listeners can go to you to connect with you outside of this podcast.
Yeah, for sure. You can follow me on LinkedIn. I'm on LinkedIn, Jarreth Martina. Basically, you can just follow me. I put some content over that, and also I have my own website too that I post about like studying abroad. Specifically, I went to China, and specifically like that, I have some blogs, which is www.jj.martina.com. That's where I have like my study abroad, I would say, information. So yeah, you can reach out to me. Mostly I'm on LinkedIn, very active on LinkedIn, that you can, if you like this podcast, this presentation, you can reach out to me and we can have a conversation too. And if you have more great ideas, ears open to hear about what else we can improve to set up students for success even before they step foot in the United States. So yeah, thank you so much, Ciro.
Thank you, Jarreth. And to all our listeners, stay tuned for the next episode. Thank you.